What could be more interesting than having art being created by artists in a magnificent garden, which in itself was an artistic creation? This is the second Art in the Garden we've had. It was very successful. So the Redwood Art Association generally, it was founded in 1956. So we are one of the oldest art organizations in Humboldt County. We're a community of artists. We use the term community in the sense that we're a group of people who have a common interest or common passion. In our case, it's a passion for the creation of art and for the enjoyment of art.
My name's David Boston, and I am the groundskeeper for the property of Dr. Burgess, which was also the property of William Carson, the lumber baron. He was the man who first logged redwoods back in the late 1800s, and this was one of his logging camps. His logging pond was here, and a little one-room cabin, and they would bring the logs down, float them in the pond, and when the winter floods would come, they would float them out to the bay via Freshwater Creek. The Dr. Burgess bought the property in the early 70s, from what I understand, and at that time it was overgrown with blackberries, alders, willows. The pond was silted in, and over the years we have reestablished the ponds to what we have now. Probably not as big as the originals, but they are very nice. We have a lot of water that run through them, which makes it even better, and have cleared the fields, have reestablished the old orchards, and his son, Steve Burgess, has kind of restored the houses for the most part. So it's been a lot of people, a lot of years to restore this place.
This ends up being a very community-oriented event. It's very social. I see a lot of my friends here. People see friends that they see in other contexts, so it's an interesting community situation.
Fragonard delighted in using the landscape. And one of his more famous ones, the swing. These are not painted outdoors, these trees. It's all studio work. And that's one of the differences between studio and plein air. And this is one of the well-known ones, Corot. And he sensed that if he went outdoors to do a landscape, even though he may finish it in the studio later, that you got more of a sense of reality. And of course, Monet loved light. He would do whole series, such as of the haystack or of the cathedral. And it meant that he may do as many as 20 in one day.
But when I come into a place, every artist has their the kind of thing that they like to paint, or the composition or structure and color that they like, and so my eye's always drawn to things that fit with what I like to paint. You know, I like something in the foreground, I like something in the distance. I'm always looking for composition, and I like light and dark, and I love you know, the light areas playing against the dark. So I'm not, if it's a scene that's kind of flat, where everything's kind of the same value, then usually I'll turn away and look for something else, you know. So like this dark water and the light hitting the plants, and so that's sort of what I look for. Yeah, I think the challenges are to work fast before the light changes very much, so I can still get the same light that I saw that sort of enticed me to that scene. Yeah, and to figure out real quickly what the colors are, and how dark should I be going, and yeah, things like that. I like to work fast because things do change, so sometimes that's a real challenge, to work fast enough to capture it, you know, sort of this, the way I saw it in my mind, I guess, you know.
The process of why I choose what I choose, really, composition is everything. I look for composition, look for compositional ideas. I go out and I try to establish what can I do with this composition. Is this story, can I tell this story? Because painting plein air, especially alla prima, is what we'll be doing today. There'll be no coming back to revise these paintings. The story's going to be told in one session completely through, and that takes a lot of years of experience to be able to control the beast of oil paint, because it can get out of control really quickly. So there's an immediacy, an urgency to the process that is, I think, really important. I have at times taken stuff back to the studio. As soon as I touch it, it seems to explode and turn away from what I was after. So you kind of learn to love them, warts and all. You know, there might be some small flaws that you can fix, but in general, I try to leave them alone completely and see what happens. This is like a kind of a blocking in stages and kind of flooding these areas with paint. So I have something to work on. And it's kind of like a color map. Gives me a tonal study of what I want to do.
Creativity and art in general is, I consider that like breathing and walking and talking and eating. It's the bare essentials to me. And the natural world is too, so this feels more like home to me than a lot of other things. I don't need a lot of distraction. I could sit here for 2 days straight and never move.
Yeah, the fun of it is to just like take a look at that scene and then try to figure out how in the world you make a nice looking painting out of it, and kind of build it in your mind. You start out with just a really small idea, and then you put down, you make a start, you put down something, that, and then that just kind of gives you an idea, a further idea, in between using what you have down and what you're looking at. You gradually build it in your head as to what it could be, and you start out with a whole bunch of really big decisions at the beginning, great big decisions about the whole general appearance of the painting, and then as you go, the decisions kind of get different. They get smaller, they get more precise, but then sometimes halfway through a painting, you'll finally realize that you made a big mistake at the start, and you'll go back and change something. With oil painting, it's really easy to change things. Anything you can do, you can undo real fast. And you can scrape it off, you can wipe it off, you can paint over it, you can mix into the paint you've got. You can always change anything you've done. So it's really incredibly user-friendly, and it's totally intuitive. There's no weird surprises. Things aren't going to happen that you didn't expect. But yeah, this is pretty neat. Look at all these people. Then it's another challenge to be talking to people while you're painting and being polite, you know, and friendly. Get surly. Throw them in the pond. Fortunately, here the pond is so close.
Yeah, she decided to let other people have a chance.
Yeah, and she was obviously out here on a Saturday.
Wonderful,
It's beautiful
very nice.
out here.
Yeah,
Really gorgeous. And it's so much fun talking with the artists. I'm learning so much. It's like free lessons.
Yeah, all these free lessons we're getting.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
You know, I do plein air because that was the first work I saw that I really liked was outdoor landscape painting. And so to be honest with you, when I first started, I didn't think there was any other way to paint landscapes. I never thought about painting with using photographs or whatever. And so started going outdoors. And that's the way I learned landscape painting, also working with other painters and stuff, but was just going right out on the spot. I mean, I always loved the outdoors, and so I always thought, even as a kid, whatever I ended up doing, I'd be working outdoors. And so I think that's where that real love of it comes from. I was so blown away by the landscape up here when I moved here in '77. And then also I was very taken with a lot of the artists I met, became friends with, very impressed with the quality of work I saw up here.
How do you get this? Go for it.
I can't go.
It's the most difficult work that I know, plein air painting. Because when you're outdoors, you see so much color because of the natural light. And there's so much information that it's difficult to try to get it all in one pass or in a couple of hours, and the light is changing. But so my approach is fast. I paint quickly, and that works for me. Fast and loose. Yeah, simplify things as much as I can, you know. Just at first glance, you know, looking over the pond, first thing I saw was black. The pond is black. You know, if you look past it and not in it and not at all the reflections, you see black. And that's what I focus on, is the big elements in the design, and just throw them in there. And then if I have time, I'll add some of the more subtle colors. If I can, I will. It's mostly for fun.
Thank you very much. I'll be out.
The festival week, we're out on the river.
Everyone is having so much fun. This is an amazing event, and the painters are just coming up with some beautiful paintings, beautiful paintings. Wow, this is an inspiring place to work.
Actually, I had an opportunity to come last year, and I think it's just getting bigger and better every year. So it was wonderful last year, and this spot here is just absolutely fantastic.
Just beautiful.
The proceeds from Art in the Garden go to the Redwood Art Association Building Trust Fund at the Humboldt Area Foundation. This is a fund that was established a number of years ago for the purpose of someday creating a permanent home for the Redwood Art Association. This would be a large visual art gallery where we could hold the exhibitions for our members, and would also be a place to have other community events.